Welcome back to the channel. This is Can I Be Ernest with a quick video on the title you see before you. Who else is there to blame? Who else is there to blame? I usually don't cover sports on this channel, although I am a sports fan with a heap of knowledge. But I try to just stay away from that. I'm not going to stay away from it today. LaMelo Ball, point guard on the Charlotte Hornets, was recently fined $100,000 for his derogatory comments following a recent game. What did he say? What did he say that has the world in an uproar? He referenced no homo, a term that has run its course for about 20 years now. Said to be a Harlem thing for those of you from New York City. I'm from New York. Listen, growing up in the 80s, early 90s, I don't ever recall anyone saying no homo. You know, New Yorkers like to say that's what we do. I don't remember us doing that. I remember that being a thing in the early 2000s when Cameron and Jewels and Jim Jones and all those guys started to use it in their little, dialogue. And I lived in 3 boroughs, and I don't ever recall hearing it, but that's neither here nor there. But LaMelo Ball is further proof of what social media and hip hop has done to the culture. How is this curly-haired, fair-skinned dude from the suburbs of California, suburbia LA, so privy to certain terms that was pretty much regional? I wanted to go back. I'm going to get right to the nitty-gritty. I wanted to go back to when things were regional. Social media has made everything like widespread now. What once was a Northeast thing, a New York thing, is now said in like Omaha, Nebraska. Like people in Nebraska say no homo. I'm sure of it. Look at the fashions now. You got people, in New York, there was a thing that they say, we wear Timbs in the summertime with shorts. I personally never did that, but that was like a New York thing, maybe a Philly thing, maybe some parts of northern Jersey. You got people wearing Timbs in the summertime in other parts of the country now, because they're trying to take on different fashion. The internet has created this like fiasco, specifically social media. There's no way a suburban kid who grew up in a pretty, high class, family, with LaMelo Ball being a former, player. I believe he played in the NBA for a short while. I could be wrong, but it's been a while. But you see LaMelo Ball's upbringing. And if you're not familiar, Google it. There's no poverty there. There's no thugging it. There's no street life. There's none of that. He's pretty much silver spoon. And the fact that you have all walks of life now using all kind of slang is just weird to me. It's weird. You have all walks of life saying things like this is lit and whatever the new lingo is of today. It used to be a time where that was only a hip hop thing. You only heard certain slang words with hip hop, or just people that were like living street life type deal. You have everyone saying everything now. You can't differentiate a hood person from a suburban person because all they got to do is dress the part and talk the part now. This curly haired dude who grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth thinks it's cool to say no homo in a post-game interview. Whack 100 said something about a month or so ago about how it's unfortunate, and I'm paraphrasing, but how it's unfortunate that people nowadays are so quick to say no homo and taking things out of context. If I say we played a hard game today, you got to say pause or no homo. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm an athlete who said we played hard today. The D was good. I got to follow that with no homo or pause. Why? I'm talking sports. I shouldn't have to do that. But see, now we have everyone in culture who, there was somebody last year in the NFL, an anchor, sports anchor. I forget his name. He might have been on the NFL Network. his colleague was describing a sequence of plays on the field, and he interrupted him and said, "Pause." I forget his name, man. It's pissing me off. But he said pause. And the host, Chris Rose, was like, "I'm sorry." Like, he was confused. Like, why do I need to pause myself? Hip hop culture has now taken over the newscast. The newscast. I can't even watch the news now without an anchor saying no homo or pause. What kind of world am I in? What kind of world is this? So that fine was justified. I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, the NBA is no fun, and how could they fine him $100,000?" Yo, you are a professional athlete, and you're interviewing with a reporter post game. Your brain should be far removed from saying no homo. Far removed. You're in your early 20s. I get it. I did and said things in my early 20s. To be cool, to fit in. You don't have to fit in, LaMelo. I'm calling you LaMelo. I'm not calling. It's only one Melo I know, and that was Carmelo Anthony. You're LaMelo Ball. You should be far removed from having to say no homo in an interview. You know, you don't get cool points. You're already in the NBA making millions. You're tatted up. You got every girl that you want, or your current girl. You have already made it. You don't have to say no homo. You don't get cool. No one's at home like, "Yeah, yo, he's cool." No one gives a damn. Clearly I do, because I made the video. But I'm actually justifying the fine. You should have gotten fined $1 million. You bozo. You guys are in the league. You don't have to be cool anymore. You made it. We want to be like you. Even us old heads, we want to be like you. But yeah, that fine was justified. And anyone else who says no homo or pause and takes things out of context, you should get fined too, from your job or just from life. Life should fine you. There should never be you should never finish a sentence with no homo or pause if the context isn't a homosexual type of theme. If we're talking about the weather, it was a rainy day and I got wet. I gotta say, yeah. Oh man, what happened? What happened to society? I got wet from the rain. I gotta say pause. It was a hard day at work. I gotta say no homo. What's happening, man? What's happening?